Check my YouTube channel, subscribe, and share.
Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss the chance to be a part of something impactful at the Align and Thrive Summit 2025. We are seeking innovative speakers and vendors to inspire and empower.
Welcome, everybody. This is Kimberly Speaking podcast, and today we have two very special guests. I would like to welcome Dr. Marquette L. Walker and Dr. Acetra D. Russell, the A&M Fusion. Come on, guys. Give them a round of applause. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you so much for having us on this amazing platform. We are so excited to be a part of your podcast this evening.
Yes, thank you. I'm really excited just to be here and just to chat with you. This is great. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you guys were able to make it on today. You guys are doing so many wonderful things for the kingdom, for the community, and the people just got to know about what you all have going on. So I'll get started. If you want to say a little bit about yourselves, each individually, just kind of let them know who you are. You can go ahead and do that.
Okay, so I am Dr. Marquette L. Walker. As you stated earlier, I am a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a Gigi. I told my kids, could they slow down so I could stay a Gigi? I know I'm a grandmother, but I like Gigi better. I am an inspirational speaker, a motivational coach. I am an author of Divorced But Not Defeated, helping women heal so they can win. And then most importantly, we have a partnership of A&M Faith Fusion partners. I'm also the CEO and founder of Marquette L. Walker Ministries, and now newly a nonprofit, Marquette's Destiny Foundation, just newly, like very new, like yesterday new. So we're thanking God for what he's doing. He's doing some awesome and amazing things in my life and through me and outside of me. So once again, I'm just so grateful to be here today with you.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I am Dr. Acetra D. Russell. I am an author. I am a coach. I call myself a healing coach. I experienced some tragedies in my life. So now what I'm doing is sharing that information with other women just to help them through PTSD or any type of tragedies that they have in their life. I am the founder of Moving Mountain Ministry, a ministry that's for women. Of course, again, helping women heal the heart. My book is called 100% Healed, A Mother's Journey of Moving Mountains to Heal the Heart After Death and Divorce, where I provide my story of how I was resilient and got through those hurts. I am a mother of one biological daughter. Well, two, because my youngest daughter passed away. I am a bonus mom. I am, of course, also a wife. Not a grandmother yet, not a mother-in-law yet, but hopefully that's coming soon. I reside in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm a site culture integrator with one of the Fortune 500 companies. I am so excited to just be here and share with you all today.
Absolutely, guys. These are two wonderful, wonderful, powerful women of God, and I'm just excited to be connected with them. I want to know, how did you guys meet? How did you guys even just come to know each other first and foremost?
I truly love telling this story. I'll let Marquette Dr. Marquette tell her part, but I truly love telling this story. We met it's been a couple of years now, right? It seemed like it was longer than that, but we met 3 years ago where both of us was on a platform called Powerful on Purpose. We both were able to speak on that platform with Dr. Tabitha Russell. And prior to the event, we had the coaching meetings and also we would see each other on there, but we didn't actually meet face to face until our first event. And when I tell you, we were with a group of people that we just became a family with supporting each other, and we still support each other. But Marquette and I, we took it to a whole nother level, after the event was over. come to find out, we bumped into each other again because both of us became authors. We had
Yeah.
the same publisher, so both of us
Oh.
published our books like right behind each other. She
Wow.
came to my book release. I went to her book release, and we had a conversation one day where I forgot. I always forget to talk to about the revival, the weekend retreat. We met at the weekend retreat. She came down. It was in Orlando, Florida, and I think that's when we really gelled with each other. And she was sharing with me how she wanted to have a women's conference, and I said, whatever you do, I want to be a part of it. I'm gonna let her tell the rest of the story.
Okay.
It's so ironic. It's so funny when people ask us this because we get so excited and get all giddy. Because we do this because we understand a divine connection. It's something about a divine connection from the Holy Spirit, and this is definitely a divine connection. I call her my sister. I just want to be where she is. She want to come right. But I have to say, it's so amazing. So we start talking about the conference, and she said, well, wherever you want to be out, wherever you do, I want to be a part of it. I said, absolutely. Okay, we're going to do this. But I started to feel that our conference wasn't just for women. So I went back to the drawing board and said, God, I know you gave us winning the Powerof'we. We thought it was for women, but I said it's something else. He said, no, I gave you the Powerof'we, but it's winning everyone. So I went back and I said, he is winning everyone, and we have more people alongside us. But by the time it was all said and done, it was just us two standing. Even though they had a whole bunch of other things going on, but I believe this was the plan of God to connect us to. He knows our strengths and our weaknesses. So where I'm weak at, she's strong, and where she's weak, I'm strong. And so we make a very well-rounded team. And it's amazing when you can cover someone when you're going through. When I'm going through, you call my sister, she's praying, and vice versa. But so that is where we met. But I remember I told her, I said, hey, this is how the conference gonna lay out. This is what I'm gonna wait a minute. She said, wait a minute, I'm going to need you to get off of my pad of paper. God had given her the same vision years ago.
Wow.
Years ago. That's how we knew this was a divine connection from God. But yes, that is how we met. And we've been inseparable. We go everywhere now. You coming here? True sister.
Wow.
True sister.
That is truly awesome. And it's really hard to find, nowadays, especially being like-minded as far as where God is concerned, it's really good to have someone that you can, like you said, pray with, confide, partner up, and you guys are, on the same page and have the same vision, basically. So I think that is absolutely awesome. And you would think that you guys knew each other for years. It seems like it's been longer than 3 years. That sounds like 3 years. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Okay, so I am so curious as to how A&M Faith Fusions came about. It's such a big umbrella. You guys are doing so many amazing things, just like the Powerof'we conference you had in Jacksonville, Florida. My God, it was amazing. So glad I could be a part of it. It was absolutely, it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. It felt more like a revival, I just kind of feel like it felt like a revival, just kind of giving everybody like a extra, boost of, faith and just resetting, like you guys said. It was just awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. As I stated, we start planning the conference. It started under Marquette Walker Ministries, but I said, you know what, we working this thing together. So we decided to make a business out of it and move it from under Marquette Walker Ministries and become a partner. So we was like, what is our name gonna be? We're trying to figure out what our name gonna be. We're gonna ask chat what our name should be. Well, we decided to come up with A&M, which stands for Acetra and Marquette. And then Faith Fusions, we're fusing faith together. And our tagline is where faith meets fellowship. Where faith meets fellowship. And we want this platform to be different from any other platform. There's a lot of speaking platforms out there, but we want ours to represent God and represent him well, and let him know that we won't compromise. We're not going to compromise on what God has given. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was just amazing. Even with planning the Powerof'we, we knew the type of people that we wanted to come and be a part of the event. We wanted people that had the love for God and that wanted to share that love for God. So we prayed and we asked God, you need to send us the people. You need to send us to people. And we had the interviews and everything like that. She was, what do you always say, Marquette? You said, I'm the listener and she's the seer.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
That's good.
That's how good we are. That's how you know God is involved. So, I tell her, I said, you know what? God gave us ears so we can listen more and not write. But then he also gave us 2 eyes too, so we can see. Dr. Acetra is the hearer. She listens, and that's how she can form and hear God, through listening. Mine is I have to see you. So I'm watching. I'm the watcher, and she is the hearer. So makes us well-rounded.
Wow.
Yes, it's so funny because every time we talked it to the speakers and all, when we get off the phone, we're like real giddy. We're like, oh my God. But we asked God to have we wanted God's Holy Spirit to be there the entire weekend. And when I say he showed up and he showed out, and that's what he did. He did exactly what he said he was going to do, because we just gave it all to him. We gave him our yes. We was like, God, this is, we're putting it on, but God, this is all about you. We want your spirit to be in there. We want to make a change in Jacksonville. We want to make a change in Hyatt Regency. And he did exactly what we prayed for.
Absolutely. He did.
Absolutely. That is awesome. So the power of we, it feels as if it's like a new era of faith and connection where, you're using your faith to connect, people, just and bringing different people, in together, basically like community, it's like you're building a faith community.
Yes.
So what are some things that you want to do in under your umbrella of A&M Faith Fusion? What are some things that you would like to do maybe in that community or in your community or for others that would help them with their faith journey?
Absolutely. So A&M Faith Fusions is just what it is. It's a faith, like you said, we call it a movement. A lot of people call it a movement now. And what we want to do is we want to, God is raising up a remnant in this hour. He's raising up people that is going to live for him wholeheartedly. That says, God, for you I live and for you I die. And that's what A&M Faith Fusions is about. So he's using us to draw the people unto him. That's what it's about. So we're going to have a lot of things going on under A&M Faith Fusion. So as you know, we just had the Powerof'we in April. We have the Powerof'we in October that's coming up. But we just launched a new piece of the Powerof'we, which is the Powerof'we 2, which was our missing piece to the puzzle, which is if we're going to win everyone, that means we're winning the children all the way up to the young adults. So they will have their own separate conference running concurrent with ours. So we're going to have pre-K to 5 that will be there in October. We will have 11 to 12-year-olds. And we'll have, those are ones we don't know which people, other big people. So we gave them their own space. And then we also have ages 13 to 17, which is our youth. And then we have our young adults from 18 to 25. So we have invited some speakers out. So we're going to have Friday night is our power night, family power night. Saturday have their own conference. So we are so excited what God is doing. We're also going to be having some mini conferences. 2026 is going to be a very busy year for us. And we say mini conferences, and we're going to be traveling. We ain't staying in one place. We got to get out. God is everywhere. So we're going everywhere where he's at, right? We just say where you are, that's where we want to be. So we're going to be having mini conferences, women conference. We're going to do youth conferences, men. We want to do something for the men as well. And we will be partnering up with other organizations as well, because that's what it's about. It's about partnership. It's not just about us trying to do it on our own, because there is power in we. There's power in we. And so we can stay right there. God is going to open a door for everything else. But we have a lot. We even talking about kings and queens in you. I told Dee, I said, Dee, we gonna have a closet full of gowns. She's like, no, we're gonna donate them to the young, the queen.
That's right.
The event for that. We're gonna have a silent auction gala. We're gonna have something Christmas gala. We're gonna have a bunch of gift things. thinking about a whole bunch of things for
Oh,
2026, but all it
yeah.
is the power of we bringing people together to help us carry out this movement of the power of we in A&M Faith Fusion.
Absolutely. That is awesome. Yeah. And what you said is so important because our youth need God. I
Yes.
mean, when we grew up, I feel like, well, we all grew up at different times, but it's like when you look at the different generations, so many things are changing every generation.
Yes.
And this generation, like with the things they have going on, oh my gosh, it's like it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
Every generation, they're fighting more things, and it's just he's coming at them, younger and younger, so that is a very good idea to like have something for, the youth and the young adults because like they need that as well.
Absolutely. What came to mind when you said that is a lot of our young people these days, it's a whole totally different generation. But the thing is, we have to tap into this. The seed of the source is us in our generation. What didn't we deal with? So, what you don't deal with, it passes down to your children. So now we have to work extra hard to help them go through their deliverance, right? And stuff that we did not deal with. And we have to spend that time with God and say, God, these are some of the things I didn't deal with. Now I have passed on to my children. So we want to make sure that we grab a hold of those people, the parents, the grandparents, the moms, the dads, the sisters, the uncles, cousins. We want everybody.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So okay, you guys are both authors. So how did you become authors? Like how did you decide I'm going to write this book and this is the vision for the book?
Well, I started writing my book many years ago. When my daughter was diagnosed with an astrocytoma glioma cancer back in 2007, she was 7 years old, and while she was in and out of the hospital, I would journal a lot. So one day she was in the hospital, and the Holy Spirit said to me, 100% healed. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to write a book on 100% healed, and it's going to tell her story. Because obviously God gave me that because he felt that she's going to be 100% healed. And this is going to be her testimony. Well, in 2009, she passed away.
Oh, wow.
All I had was her story. And God said, no, Dee, that wasn't for you. That wasn't for her. It was for you. You're the one who's going to become 100% healed. And of course, this was my youngest baby. She was only 9 years old when she passed away. And I'm thinking, how is it possible for me to write a book? But I know God had ordained for me to do it. But you can't write a book on one chapter. So I said, well, what else am I going to write about? So that's when I started telling my story. And I would pick it up. I would read it, I would cry because it was still just a story. And tweak a little bit of it, write a little bit more. And then close to, what was that? You said 3 years ago to this 2022, God said it's time. So as we were practicing and getting ready for the Powerful on Purpose, there was a young lady on there that I didn't find out till close to the end that she was a publisher also. So I set up a meeting with her, and she, I guess she was giving me the whole spiel, telling me about the company. And she was like, if you feel that this is a good fit, then we can move ahead. And I'm like, God already told me it was a good fit.
Yeah.
I already know. So going from starting to writing a book in 2007, and now here I am in 2022, finishing this book in 3 months. I finished the book in 3 months because God gave me what I needed. So it just wasn't time. Back then it wasn't time because I needed to come to completion to my full 100% healed.
Yeah.
I was so excited because I didn't think I could ever do it. But just going back and reading it, I cried and then I laughed, but it tells my full story. And when you're writing a book about yourself, you're very vulnerable because now everyone knows who you are in your business. There were some things that my family, like my dad and everything that they read, that they didn't know that I was going through because I was also going through a divorce. So, my dad, he was very apologetic because he said, I'm sorry that I didn't know you was going through that. And I'm like, well, it wasn't you wasn't supposed to know. Because this was a part of my healing. So you don't have to apologize to me because everything that I went through got me to be the woman that I am today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my prayer is when people read that book that they can relate to it, because it's more, it talks about me losing my daughter and going through a divorce and everything like that. But any type of loss that you have, you can relate to this book.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes, so me, same thing. Well, in my life is, and I have been told this a lot, is that your life is just like the story in the Bible, the woman at the well. That is my story. That is my life. I feel like God took those words off the paper and let me live it out, walk it out. So for the ones that will be listening, I used to call myself the modern day woman at the well. And most people say, what is that? Well, she's found in John chapter 4. Go and read about her. Read about her story. That was myself. And it took me a long time, but eventually I understood that my story, what I've been through and what I lived through, it was not for me, but I had to overcome some things before I can get to that place, which was I had to learn how to forgive. I had to be accountable. I had to understand who I was, who God was to me and who I was to him. I had to learn all of this stuff so I could be able to come from up under that umbrella of shame. I walked in shame for years and years and years because I was born and raised in the church. And born and raised, far as old school saints, y'all know when y'all say born and raised, I mean you all the time. Well, I done went a step further. I said I was born on the pews. That's how much I was into. I was born on the pews. And let me tell you one thing I noticed is when I was going to church, and this is what I gravitated towards. I saw all these happily amazing marriages. People were so happy and loving and all of that. So that's what I saw. And I said, okay, one day that's going to be me. Well, no one told me that you got to fertilize your grass. You got to till it up. You got to water it and do all of that. So when I started having problems, I thought, oh, no, this ain't it. No. So number one, I was out. And then number two, same thing. I called that one. I had so many marriages, I started to name them. The first one was just naive. I was just simply naive. The second one, I say, shame on me. Shame on me is because I married the same guy in a different body. In a different body. But the thing is, I'm still carrying stuff from a child. Parents got divorced. I felt the hurt and the pain from my mom. So I'm carrying all of this childhood trauma. That's why I can't get it right in marriages, right? So I'm already thinking, if you ain't acting like these people that I saw, you ain't it. You ain't it. So just really quickly fast forward. And number three, this is when God started to deal with me. Marriage number three. I remember inviting my dad to the wedding. Now, mind you, I think I was still not liking him at this point. I had some issues with my dad because he divorced my mom. Like, how dare you? I invited him. He said, wait a minute. All right. I know marriages have their ups and downs. The first one I'm going to give you. The second one I'm going to give you. The third one, there's something wrong with you. Oh, my goodness. The audacity. I had to call him. Oh, I let my daddy have it. Oh my God. Look, and he went. I talked to him like he was just some man I didn't even know. But let me tell you, in that moment is when that light bulb went off, and even God was trying to let me know, baby girl, your past is chasing you. It's trying, and you're steady running away, and I'm trying to get you to a place to heal. You have not made it there, and I'm trying to get you there. But it took for my dad, because God was letting me know it first has to start with your dad, because I had to forgive him for what him and my mom were. So and then not only that, I started thinking about my days dwindling them down. Y'all know that scripture, honor thy father and thy mother. Woo!
Oh yes, girl, listen.
I felt like I was down to 10 days, so I had to hurry up. But that's where it all started. After number three, and also number three, my mom passed away. So I'll tell anyone, do not make a life-changing decision when you're going through grief. I was grieving, and so ended up being with him. It was very short-lived, but I still heard the words of my dad. And so at that point, I said, okay, it's time to stop. It's time to allow God to show me who I am. and the things that he has to fix in me, right? Because a lot of times we're running away from accountability.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be accountable. So I had to be accountable. And not only that, I needed to know who Marquette was. Who are you? I hid behind all the makeup, the fancy cars and stuff, but it was time out for hiding. It was time for me to be real and be real with God, because he was real with me the whole time. So now we're fast forward. I spent 6 years not dating no one. Oh, and they came for me and they was like, wait, well, I can be your friend. Nope, I don't need no friend. I got a friend.
Nope.
I got a friend of Jesus. That's all I do, right? And so after that, after 6 years, then I moved, and I thought I had this. Now, the fourth one, I say I thought I had it, and I really did. But this is where the enemy try to trick you, because you're going to be tested. When you go through and you have taken that time out to do what you're supposed to do, you're still going to be tested, right?
Absolutely.
So I called this one. I thought I had it, and because I said that because I put in the work. But God said, no, you didn't fail, because what the enemy tried to tell me is you done failed again. Look, you on number 4, you failed again. God said, he said, you didn't fail. Let me tell you what happened to you. Now you know what grace mean. Now you know what patience mean. Now you know what accountability mean. Now you still know who you are. You ain't questioning who you are, because you know who you are. And now you know who you are in me. So no, you didn't fail. You didn't fail. You learned stuff, and it's showing you learned stuff. So so then that was ended, and then on to number 5. And I said, okay, God, all right, well, we gonna just allow you to be God in all of this. So that is my story. And you know what? I did not realize how many people was going through the same thing. The enemy will trick you and say you're the only one going through it. You're the only one going through that. You better not say nothing. You're the only one going through that. Let me tell you, when I told my story, I had men and women 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 4 times. I was like, really? Not by myself. Oh, we got a movement going on here. But yeah, so my story needs to be told, because a lot of people are still walking in unforgiveness. They're still walking in they're not being accountable. They're not holding themselves accountable. They're not even forgiving themselves. You got to forgive yourself in order to move. So there's a lot of things in my story that would definitely help other people to heal, so they can get to that next level.
It's so funny, because in listening to both of you guys talk, there's so many things that connect you guys. And it's like, it's just, I'm just listening. It's mind boggling. Like when you talk about like the traumas, and you guys said some really good things. I know when Dr. Acetra was talking about the 100% heal, we're thinking, yeah, guys, you're gonna heal. Gonna heal my family member. We believe. I know you as a healer. You do this, you do that. But sometimes he doesn't do that, and it's like, God, why didn't you? You know what I'm saying? But it's a bigger purpose in what he's trying to do in you, and you don't see that till after the fact. And it's like, okay, so now I see. But like you going through it, you don't see that. All you see is the grief, the loss, that, and just feeling like, God, you didn't come through for me. And I tell people all the time, we as people are selfish, because we'll see somebody and they're sick or whatever, and all we praying is God heal them. You don't know what they want. You don't know if they want to be here. You don't know if they want to deal with the pain. You don't know if they want to deal with what they're dealing with. It's like we don't even take into account their feelings. We're thinking about, us. And I was like, man, that's so deep. Because my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And she was like, yeah, I'm not doing no chemo. I'm not doing nothing. We like, yes, you are. She was like, no, I'm not doing it. And so we had to be okay with her not doing it, knowing the consequences of her not doing anything with stage 4 cancer. So it's just like, it's really tough when you have to respect the wishes of, the people that you love, and you don't want to see them gone. You want them to be here, but that's a really tough thing. And Dr. Marquette, you talked about something that's really, 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 really dear to my heart, the childhood trauma, because I talk about that in my book. A lot of things that we deal with in our childhood really comes to light in adulthood. And when you get married, honey, let me tell you, woo, that stuff starts surfacing. You're like, wait, what's going on? It's just like a whole somebody's taking the curtains and just opening them. And
Mhm.
it's like, what in the world? Like, what am I dealing with? Like, you don't even realize it. And you
Mhm.
trace it all the way back to your childhood.
Yep. Yep.
Girl, that ooh, it's so eye-opening. I'm telling
It
you.
is. It
It,
is.
oh, girl, it'll make you really sit down and look at yourself. I'm telling you.
Right.
I was listening to this radio interview one time, and they were asking this married couple, like, what is something that you learned, now that you're married? And it was like, that I'm not as great as I thought I was. Like, you thought you was great. You thought you was this. And it's like, no, I got some issues, I'm dealing with some stuff. But, sometimes you don't see that when it's just you.
Yeah.
It takes somebody else,
Okay.
looking at you and dealing with you from the outside, like, okay, what's going on? But girl,
Yeah.
yeah, that childhood trauma
It would
you
tear some
have
stuff
to
up. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is like recognizing it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Once you recognize it, wanting to deal with it, wanting to fix it.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
first we have to recognize, a lot of people used to ask me, well, did you not get angry with God because you lost your daughter? Because I lost my mom when I was 13 years old. So my dad raised my sister and I. Yeah. So so people
Girl.
say, you know how they always say you don't look like what you've been through.
Mm.
Yes,
I
ma'am. Yes,
felt that
ma'am.
back then and all, and I know I went through it, but you have to keep in mind and remember that you can get through it. I think what
Yeah.
helped me not get angry with God is
Mhm.
my baby used to always say, Mommy, I love Jesus and I love God.
Oh, it's so
7 years
sweet.
old,
Oh
between
my
7
God.
and 9, she used to always
Mm.
say that. And
Oh my
then it's
God.
amazing because there was so many people at her funeral,
Mm.
people that
Mm.
I didn't even know. And I'm thinking,
Wow.
okay, you're 9 years old and you touched the lives
Mm.
of so
Yeah.
many people
Yeah.
at such a
Yeah.
young age. So when you're dealing with
Mm.
trauma, because my aunt said, she was like, I don't know how you got through what
Yeah.
you went through. She said,
Yeah.
because I thought we were going to have to maybe possibly put you in a home. She said, but
Oh my
you had so
God.
much strength,
Ooh.
and I can remember one day sitting in my living room and Raven was in the bedroom because she was
Mm.
at a point where the tumor was growing back. So the fluid was not circulating in her brain because the tumor was stopping it.
Mm.
So she wouldn't really get out to bed. And I remember sitting in the
Mm.
living room saying, you know what, God, you gave her to me. Now
Mm.
I give her back to you. But
Mhm.
Ooh.
please just let me be okay with it.
Mhm.
So I know at that moment when I gave her back to God, that God was going to give me that strength
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
get through all of that. Now she left me with a little dog because she went through the Make-A-Wish
Oh.
Foundation. We thought we was going to go on a trip. She was like, "No, I want a dog that can stay in the
Mm.
house." This
Oh.
dog that we got for her had her same personality.
What?
He ran the household. He passed away like maybe about three years ago,
Oh my
but
gosh.
I appreciate her because she
Yeah.
knew. She I guess she knew and she felt, okay,
Yeah.
mommy's gonna need Zion,
Yeah. Yeah.
when I leave. But
Yeah.
you have to know that any type of trauma that you're going
Mm.
through, you need to seek help. You cannot do this alone. You need your community,
Girl.
you need a therapist,
Mhm.
you
Yes.
need Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need it all. You cannot get through it
Yes.
alone. You need that community to let you know, especially you need people around you that went
Yeah.
through it,
Yeah.
to know
Absolutely.
that if they can get through this, I can get through
Mhm.
this too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dr.
Absolutely.
Marquette, now we do have a lot in common.
Yeah.
We do have a lot in common, and
Mm.
we all have something in common in our
Oh,
lives.
absolutely.
There's something. We may have a different story, but sometimes
Mm-hmm.
the outcome is the same.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
true.
Mhm.
I something Dr. Marquette said also that had me thinking, how she was saying she felt like she was the only one going through it. No, that's what the enemy does. He brings those thoughts to make us not tell our story because he knows in sharing our story, we're gonna help others. And so when we're bound and like, oh my God, I'm the only person going through this. No, there's nothing new under the sun, honey. The same things that we're dealing with, people all over the world have dealt with.
Yeah.
And that's what's so powerful about telling your story.
Mhm.
Because for one, you get out of that, holding it in and dealing with it yourself. And this
Mhm.
also, like she said, writing that book was a source of healing.
It is.
It kind of helps you heal in telling your story.
It does.
So while you're healing, you're helping others see others heal. So he definitely doesn't want that. So I tell people all the time, man, you have to talk about what you've been through. And it's not about, telling your business. It's just about being transparent, and
Mhm.
you want to talk about the things that God has brought you through, especially if you're a faith believer, a Christian.
Absolutely.
God has brought us through some things. Everybody,
Yeah.
like you said, everybody goes through things. It's different things, but things nonetheless. So it's just so powerful when people can, be that transparent and vulnerable and like tell their story, because you never know who needs to hear how you got through it, how what you dealt with, what you didn't. If you can do it, he can do it for you. He can do it for me.
Yeah, yeah. I love how you say that. One thing that just struck my
Mhm.
interest was one thing is that the Bible says we're overcome by the words of our
Mm.
testimony.
Yes.
We got to know that God is the
Mhm.
same today as he was yesterday. So the
Yep.
same miracles that he's performing now,
Mhm.
he did back then, he's doing
Yep.
them now. Another thing I want to leave with the audience too is it's okay to seek therapy.
Yep.
Our society, when we were growing up, they said, oh no, we don't do that. Even in the
Exactly.
based community. Oh no,
Yep.
no, you don't do that. That's taboo. We don't talk about that. We don't do that. Oh
Mhm.
no, we trust God and that's it. But God has given therapists that wisdom,
Yes.
insight.
Yes.
They go to school for this.
Yes.
This stuff comes from God. The knowledge,
Yes.
this comes from God. So it is
Mhm.
okay to seek therapy. So we have to change our mindsets
Mhm.
so we can
Mhm.
be able to walk that healing journey. Because a lot of us
Mhm.
can't be healed because we've been taught not to do this, not
Yep.
to go to a therapy, not to seek help, but trust God to
Mhm.
do this. But God has put people in position to help
Yes.
get through what we're going through. So I wanted to
Yes.
say that Dr. Setra brought
Mhm.
that up and said it is, yes, you have
Yes.
to have therapy. Yes, you do.
Mhm.
I did it
Yes.
and it was good, but it opened my eyes all the way.
Girl, don't it feel like a weight lifted?
Yes.
Woo!
Mhm.
Mm. I'm telling you, Jesus and therapy. Yeah, we need Jesus, but he also put therapists here too. I'm gonna
Right.
need, yes, exactly. He was like, all I need is Jesus. Yeah, you need Jesus in the therapy because you got some issues. So
Right.
I'm a firm believer of therapy. I'm telling you, because you can't deal with all this stuff by yourself, girl.
Mm-mm.
It's a lot. It can be, girl. People go through some stuff. You hear me? Like,
Oh yeah.
Lord, I'm telling you, girl, I can't even. I'm telling people, different guests I've had on my podcast, just their stories. I'm just like, oh my
Wow.
God, you look like you like what Doctor such and such said. You don't look like what you've been through.
Yeah.
You never know what people have gone through, man. People deal with some heavy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Have dealt, is dealing, and will deal with some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, you got to do what you got to do to be okay.
Hmm.
Like you said, you don't want to pass that down to your kids, because what you don't deal with, if you're passing it down, it's generational.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Girl, it's so important. Oh my God, that's so good, guys. So I want to talk about a subject that I want to talk about digital, um, the effect of online um communication. So how important do you guys feel that the all this digital technology that we have that will help to just reach a broader audience? Like, what do you guys want to do as far as like online presence? I know you guys are doing a lot of conferences, like in person and all that. But what about reaching other areas? Are you thinking about doing online things or things like that?
Yes, we will be doing some virtual conferences as well
Mhm.
because we want to go global. We don't want to
Yeah.
just be in our backyard because
Hmm.
this word, our stories
Yeah.
have to get out. And I love the digital era right now.
Yeah.
But the only
Yeah.
thing is we want to be wise in using it. A
Yeah.
lot of people are losing their minds behind the digital thing. And y'all,
Ooh.
I've done a segment on digital detox. We have to
Mm.
take some time um, and use it wisely. Use it wisely.
Yeah.
But yes, the digital age, we living in a digital society. This is a digital age. Everything is digital right now,
Mhm.
right? But it's very
Yeah.
important. We getting the word out digitally. We have
Yeah.
someone that manages our social media, and they be pumping that stuff out. Let me tell you, we had someone just tell us that will be speaking at our conference in October. She said she went to Chat GPT and looked up faith-based conference in North Carolina, and the Powerof'we came up.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm like, you know what? Let's
Yeah.
continue to use whatever we need to use, because Chat GPT gonna pull it out for you. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think it's very, very important. That's just the day and age that we live in now. And I think people need to get on board with it. But I think managing it wisely, being on it, because a lot of people, I told you that, you know, they're losing sleep, they're getting sick behind it. Health is declining and they're not moving. We're getting overweight. Our minds are getting our minds are getting off track and things like that. It's very important. Digital world, this digital society, it's very important. That's how we can get the word out. But yes, we do plan on doing some virtual conferences as well, so we can get it. Like I said, we want this to be global. We don't want to just in our backyard. So yeah,
absolutely.
I just want to piggyback on what you were saying, Dr. Walker, because you mentioned that is important, because it's what the world is today, especially after COVID. But I think what we have to do also is that we need to make sure that we have a discerning spirit when we're out there, when we're on media platforms. We have to be very careful of what we take in, and we have to be sure that we have that discerning spirit, that who we're listening to is working for God. The enemy knows the word. So you have to have that discerning spirit, that when you're watching, because it's so much out there now where people are they're preaching, they're ministering different words and stuff like that. There's so many different ministries out there that you need to make sure who you're watching is of God.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's good.
Absolutely. Dr. Acetra, you mentioned that you still work your full-time job, and then you do other things in addition.
I love my job.
I know. Listen. So like, do you see yourself like transitioning from that to a full-time, ministry? I,
I'm gonna speak for it. Yeah. No.
I do. I think God has a calling on my life from where I am. I just transitioned into a new position at my job where I'm the site culture integrator. So I'm asking God, what am I supposed to learn from this, and what am I supposed to do? I'm working closely with the employees now. So that means I'm out there and I'm trying to change the culture of where I work. So I know that has to be some stepping stone that God has for me doing. But yes, I tell everyone, I want to do this ministry full time. I want to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and not have to leave.
Don't come for me. Don't come for me. No.
Don't come for me.
and leave my house. But no, seriously, I know with the vision that God has for A&M Faith Fusion and for Moving Mountain Ministry, that something is going to have to go. And I know as long as I continue to give God my yes, I know He's going to give me the desires of my heart.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
absolutely. So, Dr. Marquette, I know that you are in full-time ministry. Talk about that transition from corporate America to, self-employment.
Let me tell you. Now, everybody don't have the level of faith that I have. So don't y'all be jumping off y'all jobs until y'all know. But no, God did tell me in 2020, last year, He said 90, just kept saying 90 days. And I was like, oh, 90 days. And I just kept hearing it ring in my spirit, 90 days. And I was like, God, what are you telling me? 90 days now. And you know what? Delayed disobedience is just as worse than disobedience.
Ain't it? Girl, yes.
A little delayed disobedience, but it's just as bad. So He said 90 days, and our flesh side start thinking like, I got this to pay, this to pay. But God is taking us to another level in faith and trusting Him, right? And believing His word, because His word is true. He is not a God that will lie or shall repent, right? So now, so I went a little bit after the 90 days, just smidget time after. I wrote my resignation, and I'm gonna tell you, in delayed disobedience, let me tell you, God will agitate the atmosphere to make you move. All right,
yes, He will.
But since you ain't moving, let me help you out a little. So that's what happened. That's what happened. And so I ended up writing my resignation. I remember getting up and I said, okay, this is it. Father, I heard you. God, forgive me, but I'm getting ready to say. And as I typed this letter of resignation, I felt 100-pound weights lifted. It felt like on every word. And then God, All right, God, it's you and I. I'm doing what you say. I might was a little slow, but forgive me, God, but I'm ready to move. And God has been opening doors for us. And he will open doors for us. He tells us we just have to trust him. We have to believe in him. We have to have faith in him. And so, yes, I did have a little delayed disobedience. Y'all do not take y'all time. When God tell you to move, I need you to move. I need you to move because he's taking care of it. God knows the beginning and the end. We are in the middle. We journey through the process and we have to go through the process. But in that, you have to lean on your faith and your trust in God, right? So I tell anyone, if God has spoke to you and you know it's God, then make that move. But yes, I have transitioned and I've been off my job since February of last year and had the time, and we put in a lot of work. I mean, we still put in a lot of work, but God is amazing. He has come to see about us. And we just say we're going to keep running full steam ahead. And you do have to commit your time to God and know that God got you, that you trust him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lord have mercy, girl. Yeah, you said a mouthful because I'm gonna tell you, I'm that one like, okay, Lord, I just need a little confirmation. He give confirmation. Well, I'm gonna need confirmation for the confirmation. It's like,
Right.
girl, stop. Like you playing, like and I'm like, okay, God, forgive me. Yeah, you're right. That delayed disobedience, girl. It's disobedience nonetheless.
Right.
Lord, you gotta help me. But I tell everybody, man, he's never gonna give you the full picture. He will give you a little bit, and you're not gonna know the next step till you take that step. You as people want to know, okay, Lord, well, what I'm gonna do after this, that, what's gonna happen? Like, no, take the step that I told you to step, and it's gonna unfold as you take the steps, and it's like, okay, so I see what you were doing, but yeah, that's gonna get tough. I'm telling you, you just like,
that's
oh,
what faith
I don't know, Lord.
Right, because that's what faith is taking that step without seeing the steps, right? Martin Luther King said you have to take that step without even seeing the steps. So, and that's what faith, and God got to know where our faith lies and where our trust that is in him. He has to be able to trust us. But he has great things in store for each and every one of us. All of us, no one is greater than the other, but he has some great things. We just have to trust and believe in him.
Yes, we do. Okay, so you guys have another Power of We coming up is October the 12th, correct?
The 10th through the 12th.
10th through the 12th. Okay, guys, so you got to come to this Power of We because the last one was phenomenal. Oh my God, it was just absolutely awesome, guys. Tell the people how they can get in contact with you guys, your social media platforms, your website addresses, things like that.
Okay.
Go ahead, you got it, Dr.
She said, go ahead, you got it.
We do this all the time. So you can find me on all social media platforms under Marquette L. Walker. On LinkedIn, I'm under Dr. Marquette L. Walker. You can find me under Marquette L. Walker Ministries as well on all social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, all of them out there. I'm also on YouTube as well under Marquette L. Walker Ministries. You can also find us at A&M Faith Fusions, A&M Faith Fusions with the S at the end.com. You can see all the amazing things that we have going on. What else do we have? I think that's all. That's the website. And then also you can find me under Marquette L. Walker Ministries.com. That is the website, Marquette L. Walker Ministries.com.
Okay, and you can also find us on the Power of We on Facebook. The Power of We on Facebook. You can find me on all social media platforms at Dr. Acetra D. Russell or Acetra D. Russell. You can check out my webpage at acetrarussell.com. That's the Moving Mountain Ministries webpage.
Absolutely awesome. Okay, guys, this has been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful episode. I'm so glad you guys were able to come on today. I thank God for what he's doing in you. I thank God for you guys being obedient and listening to him and just stepping out on faith and doing all the things that he's called you to do and to reach the people that he's called you to reach. So I thank you both for being here today. As usual, guys, this has been an awesome episode. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. And I want to say, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kimberly Speaking 80. 762. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Until we speak again, be blessed.
Bye.